Greetings, everyone. Welcome to yet another Tuesday. Thank you for taking the time to join me in exploring right now. I wanted to talk about a concept that was on my mind today. It's mentioned in, I believe, it's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, which is a subsection of the Mahabharata, which is a sort of, as I understand it, an epic sort of Hindu story. And the Bhagavad Gita is a very small section of that, where one character describes the. And please feel free to correct me in the comments if you have more information. I didn't bother to look this up. I was running out of time, so open to correction and education on this. But one character refers to human consciousness, or refers to the state of being human as the watcher and the field. That the field is who we are, is our bodies, is our experience, is what we do, is sort of our insertion into the world of observation, the world around us, what we consider reality to be. And yet there's this other component, that of the watcher, this facility built into ourselves, built into our consciousness. And this watcher is observing the field, observing what is happening to the field. And I would add and editorialize that the watcher is kind of like the farmer. The watcher has the ability to affect some change on the field, within the field. Maybe not everything. He or she can't make things grow. He or she can't affect the weather. But he or she can observe the state of these things and make choices in an informed fashion about what to do. And for me, and for today's practice, it is my hope that we can work on cultivating our experience of being the watcher, of really stepping into that position, into that role, and it's there whether we use it or not. It's not really talked about in our culture, and I think to some degree, without use, it atrophies. So it's something we can strengthen and work on. Being able to step into this role, being able to have this facility, have this position from which to view ourselves. If you're worried that, as people often are, as I was at the beginning of this sort of journey, that stepping into this role will cause us to lose our edge, will cause us to lose our nimbleness. We won't be in the moment, we won't be in the body, feeling all of these things. That has not actually been my experience. If anything, we're more able to see what's going on from this vantage point than when we're down in the field, when we're in the dirt, really experiencing that, because we're very macro at that point. And our consciousness is made to do that, and there's places and times when that's necessary. And there's also times where it's really a detriment to us. I can think of many examples at work and in life where having that focus has caused me to miss some huge obvious thing that afterwards, like, oh, well, that would have been good to know. I have no one to blame but myself for that. So with that somewhat of an intention in mind, let's find our grounding in our body, in ourselves, in our seat, Um, Feeling into the parts of the body that are in contact with the earth, or being supported by our foundation. Really settling into a comfortable, supported posture, whatever that be. Finding spaciousness in the hips and the pelvis. Taking a moment to establish where is comfortable for you, so as not to set yourself up for failure in the end, when eventually you'll need to move. And eventually you may need to move, and that's fine too, but doing whatever you can in this moment to sort of front load your comfort for the next 25-ish minutes. Both grounding down into the seat and finding height out of it. Letting your essence sort of radiate down through your roots into gravity, into the earth, and also up and out from that point. Letting your grounding really be the intersection of these two opposing forces. These opposing forces that make sitting and standing possible. Finding relaxation in the shoulders, maybe lifting them up to the ears and pulling them back and letting them drop down. I think that there's some neck work that goes into holding the shoulders up and just releasing all of that. Finding whatever's comfortable there. Don't struggle to pin the shoulders back like we sometimes do in yoga. Just whatever's comfortable right now. The neck is long and straight. Jaw relaxed. Eyes relaxed. Skin of the face relaxed. There's no one in this moment who needs to be seeing you except yourself. Bringing your awareness to the breath, taking a deep inhalation, deep exhalation. 2 more in your own time, feeling into the expansion of the torso as you breathe in and out, observing the sounds of your inhalation and your exhalation, really letting this be a page change or a chapter change in your day. From what you were doing before to what we're doing right now. For a few minutes starting now, let's just feel into the breath. Where is the fact that you're breathing most obvious to you? Just letting your awareness settle gently on that spot. Some aspect of the felt sense of breathing in the realm of touch. And if your mind wanders, as minds do, it's an element of the reality of our existence in this form, in this plane. Just expanding your awareness in this moment to contain both your breath and this other element. Take a moment to note it. Be curious as to its origin, as to why some part of you thought it was important to think it right now. Notice the quality of holding that you might have around this thought, this observation, this feeling. And just releasing your grasp of it, your hold on it. Just letting it sort of float beside you, if you will. It's here right now. It's welcome to stay. It's welcome to go. I don't need to hold it. I don't need to hold it close. I don't need to hold it tight. It's not part of me. And just allowing your awareness gradually, gently, to return again to that aspect of your breath. We're now hopefully a little bit more settled than when we came to sit. We've allowed our depth of focus to really zoom in tightly on one aspect of our breathing. Now let us relax that holding as well. Allow your field of observation to track back, to zoom out, to include any and all aspects of breathing. Anything about the breath. And just watch that. Watch it, feel it, listen to it. Really observe it. All of these metrics, all of these dimensions. Just any observation of this breath coming in, this breath going out. from our current vantage point, somewhat at a distance removed, if you will, from the breath. Really finding spaciousness, a vast, vast area in which we can collect any and all sensations related to breath in this moment. The sound of the inhalation, the sound of the exhalation. Perhaps other sounds as they interact with that. The feeling of our posture changing as we inhale and exhale. Alongside that, any other any other sensations that may be, associated with the feeling of the breath. Feeling the skin move under our clothing, feeling the clothing move over our skin. Feeling a change in our posture as the shape of our torso changes with this inhalation and this exhalation. Any other associated feelings of posture change? Any other associations with the feeling of touch on our skin? Feeling perhaps that we are breathing through our skin, which of course we are. And just from our vantage point, observing this wide, vast panorama of the reality of us in this moment, sitting and breathing. We've now observed a little bit the softness and the porous nature of the boundary surrounding our awareness of the breath. boundary between our breath and what is going on around us in whatever room we're sitting in whatever we're feeling in our bodies, whatever we're hearing in the domain of hearing, whatever we're observing in terms of our thoughts. This border may be less rigid as we thought. It may be rather arbitrary, in the same way that our initial point of focus of our breath was arbitrary. Just allowing that border to soften even more. Allowing our awareness to absorb, welcome, take in absolutely anything and everything. Any physical felt sensation, any thought or feeling or observation, any emotion, feeling with a story behind it. And while keeping this compassionate, wide gaze over the landscape of our essence, of our being in this moment. Observing what we used to consider as distractions. Observing them as just another aspect of this wide panorama. Another aspect of the quality of this field that we are observing. Allowing them, in a sense, to be no different than our observation of the breath. Just observing all of it right now. You may find that this vast awareness may momentarily be overwhelmed by a desire to focus on something. Some movement here, some concern there, some apprehension, some regret. And when we become aware of that, when we observe that we have perhaps unintentionally chosen the macro, or the micro over the macro, allowing that to also be part of our field of observation. And in that moment, knowing that we've reestablished our grand view of the whole field. For the next few minutes in silence, we will sit, observing everything and anything that comes into the field. Mm. Coming back up to the surface, if you will, of our perception. Sorry, I rang the bowl really faintly this time. If you didn't hear it, trust me that it happened. Allowing the eyes to gently open, taking in the world around you, the world on the outside, if you will, that's always been here. I really enjoyed today's practice. I hope you did too. I find it to be intensely rewarding and difficult to sit with literally everything. I hope to see you next week. I hope you have an amazing week. Namaste.